Hello, my dear friends. Let's start with the chapter 7, Work and Leisure. What differentiates work from leisure? Generally, in the current third dimension, we could differentiate the two as follows. Work, something that we do to earn a living. We normally do not enjoy it, but do it anyway because we think we need the money. Mostly, we have very limited choice on where we work, what hours we work, and what types of activities or projects we work on. Usually, a majority of our time is spent at work. We have a boss or somebody else telling us what to do, supervising our work, and evaluating our performance using standards of performance that someone else developed without any consideration of our interests, abilities, or desires. There is no fun in work. Now let's know about leisure. Leisure, something that we do for fun. We normally enjoy it since we do it by choice. We decide where and when to go and what kinds of activities or projects we get involved in. Usually, a small part of our time is spent on leisure. We do not have someone else telling us what to do or supervising and evaluating our performance. We generally do not make money in our leisure time. Leisure is fun. Isn't there something wrong with this picture? We spend the majority of our time doing something that is not fun, and only a very small amount of our time on fun, that is leisure. Why is there so little fun in life? It is how much fun we are having that basically determines our quality of life. Let's know about dissolving work in leisure. If we could merge work and leisure and make the merged activity have all the characteristics of leisure, then we will always be having fun in life. Then the quality of life will be excellent. And that is exactly what we want. We want a life full of fun. Now the author is questioning us. Would you retire from fun? The author says, my life is full of fun. I do everything by choice and purely based on what interests me. It was not this way earlier for 30 years when I worked in the corporate or business world. That means I never go to work. I'm constantly on leisure time. I have no plans of retiring from fun. Would you, if your life was all fun? Once we move to the fourth dimension, work disappears and merges into leisure. However, in the third dimension, the vast majority of persons cannot do that. The problem is the separation of work and leisure as defined above. Where is the problem? The problem is created by the polarity in our world. The top 1% of the world's population controls almost 75 to 80% of all resources. The other 99% are then forced to work for the top 1%. If we were to take all the resources in the world and divide these equally amongst the population of the world, everyone would have more than sufficient for a good life. Right now, one person can keep 50 billion US dollars in the bank, while hundreds of millions in the world are undernourished or starving. If we were to make the latest technologies available to everyone, things would get done much faster and people would not have to work so hard. When something has to be done manually, where it could have been done by machines, human labor is being unnecessarily wasted. Right now, in an advanced nation, five people using the right technology might make a certain roadway in one day. In a third world country, it might take hundreds of workers breaking stones by hand to make the same roadway in a month. If there were if there were a sharing of equipment, we could save a tremendous amount of time. I may keep four cars at home and on certain days not even drive a single one. My neighbor, on the other hand, might not have a car and might be spending 2 hours a day commuting by bus and train. If I could share a car with him, maybe he would save an hour and a half hours per day in commuting time alone. By not sharing equipment, we unreasonably raise our requirements and put an undue burden on our resources. Many people have two vacuum cleaners at home, and maybe one of them gets used for about 5 minutes per day. If the same vacuum cleaners could be used for 12 hours per day, we could clean about 300 houses with them. Every 30 vacuum cleaners could be replaced by a single one. Now, if you need to buy 300 vacuum cleaners instead of one, of course, you will need to work that much harder. In most cases, we are not just working for ourselves. We are working for an employer. The employer wants us to work many hours so that he can make more money from our work, especially for persons that are on a fixed salary. Every extra hour they work, they are working only for the employer, not for themselves. Once again, we can go on about why we are in the shape that we are, but that is not why you are reading this book. So let us move on to how it will be in the new world. Let's see. A couple goes to work in the new world. Joe is an architect. His wife Naina is a teacher. They have grown up children who are all independent and do not live with them anymore. Earlier in life, when they were in the third dimension, Joe used to work as a government employee and had to do a lot of administrative paperwork. Following the shift to the fourth dimension, when his old job ceased to be, Joe trained and became an architect. He now truly enjoys his profession. Naina has always been a teacher. Earlier in life, when they were in the third dimension, Naina used to teach at a regular university. Now, she continues her teaching career but enjoys it much more. In the new world, neither Joe nor Naina has an office to go to and no fixed timings. Life is good and fun. Joe and his architect's office in the New World. Let's know about Joe and his architect's office in the New World. As an architect, Joe is currently involved in a design project on a large industrial building where he has to work with many other persons from different disciplines. Most of these are persons that he has never met personally and doesn't even know where they live or are geographically located. Joe found a listing for this project online, sent in his resume, had an online interview, and was accepted for the contract, which is expected to last for about 15 months. Joe has no brick and mortar office to go to for work. He works purely in a virtual environment. Joe is not an employee of any company, has no boss, and no fixed timings for his work. Most of the people that Joe works with, he has only met online by video conferencing. There is a person designated as a project coordinator for the project that Joe works on. Every few days or every day if needed, the project coordinator assigns the tasks that Joe needs to complete, along with general timelines for each task. These are maintained in his files on a central computer system that holds all the data for his particular project. Every day, Joe works at his own convenience whenever he feels like whenever he feels like it. He accesses his list of tasks and works on any of these online using his computer at home. Although his computer is small in size, it projects out any image on a wall and makes it as big as needed. Hence, Joe can work with any size document or drawing that he needs to. He doesn't need any drawing board or other instruments since the software provided by the project computer is sufficient for handling all the required tasks. On an, aver- on an average, Joe works about 4 hours per day. That is sufficient time for him to complete the tasks that are assigned to him. However, he has no fixed schedule times. On certain days, he may work a whole day if Naina is out teaching, and then other days he may not work at all. He has total freedom to work in the mornings, afternoons, evenings, late nights, or not at all. Joe gets his tasks completed on time, and that is all that is needed from him. Whatever work Joe does Whatever work Joe does gets saved on the central computer, and everyone else working on the project has instant access to it, no matter where they happen to be geographically. This allows for truly global teams to work together, custom picked for each project individually. Every 2 weeks, Joe has a video conference meeting with the project coordinator and others that are directly related to his work. He just uses his small computer, which projects out a large image on a wall. Joe has total flexibility as far as work is concerned. He could be on a beach house, a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean, or on a mountaintop resort and still get his work done, since the network accessibility is global and wireless. All he needs is his small computer that he carries with him. Joe is a free man and can spend his days wherever and whenever he chooses to do so. One of the best parts of the new world that Joe likes is that he never has to do any paperwork. The computer keeps track of which tasks he has completed and automatically deposits his earnings into his bank account. Since there are no taxes to be paid, there are no other forms that need to be filled or filed. Compared to his work as a government employee in the third dimension, Joe really enjoys this freedom from the drudgery of paperwork and form filling. Now let's know about Naina and her teaching assignments. Naina has always been a teacher. In the old days, in the third dimension, she used to teach in the medical faculty at a university. She was told what courses to teach, what timings to teach, the classroom locations, the syllabus, and almost everything else was pre decided for her. She had very little control on her timings or her activities. Although she loved teaching, she was very unhappy with the amount of ancillary work that she had to do. This included items such as reporting student grades, attendance records, etc. She considered these boring, but she did those since they were a necessary part of her teaching assignments. Following the shift to the fourth dimension, her university, along with all others, ceased to exist. She lost her job, but she couldn't be any happier. Now, Naina teaches on her own, just like every other teacher. She teaches whatever courses she wants to teach. Due to her continuing interest in the healing techniques, she has long been a pioneer in using and adopting mind techniques that went beyond conventional science. In the old days, she could never get the university to approve her teaching any of these cutting edge techniques. She was required to stick with the traditional old style techniques. Now, Naina is able to teach whatever she feels like, and she couldn't be any happier. Naina always chooses which days and times she wants to teach. This way, she has total control on her life, and Naina couldn't be any happier. Whenever Naina wants to teach, she rents one of the multiple classrooms that are available in the location of her choice. Each classroom comes equipped with full and complete video conferencing facilities. That way, any student anywhere in the world can still attend her class. If, for example, Joe and Naina decided to spend some time in Hawaii, Naina can always rent a classroom in Hawaii and offer a class there. The locals from Hawaii can physically attend the class, whereas others can attend by video conferencing. So the classes are open to all worldwide. And Naina couldn't be any happier. Naina is totally free to draw. Naina is totally free to draw up the course syllabus, notes and contents. Nobody can overrule Naina in any of these matters. She has total control on her activities. And Naina couldn't be any happier. Naina doesn't have to test or grade her students, and there is just no paperwork to fill out. This seems this seems like a big advantage to Naina, and Naina couldn't be any happier. Naina is now so happy with her teaching and her life that she is having fun. And Naina couldn't be any happier. Let's know about office and administrative work. Now, let us look at any office environment. With the exception of a few people who are mainly into design, almost every other office job requires a significant amount of record keeping, document handling, or accounting. Since at, since at least 80% of these jobs will be fully automated, a majority of the time for most office workers will be freed up. There will be no need to print, generate, store, retrieve, renew, or carry any of the below things: invoices, passports, paychecks, bank statements, cash, cash receipts, driver licenses, checkbooks, credit card statements, utility bills, tax statements, financial reports, property documents, school reports. The list is just too long. Basically, there would be minimal need of any paper products since almost everything will be electronically generated and transacted. Plus, there would be hardly any need for accountants. Once all the transactions are taking place electronically, the system will automatically do any accounting necessary because there will only be one system of accounting everywhere and no requirements to file reports with multiple agencies. The systems automatically generate and file any necessary reports. Think of the amount of work and resources that saves us. Now let's know about manufacturing systems. Let us look at the manufacturing industry. In the fourth dimension, factories will be very highly automated. Very few people would be required to work in a factory, and most of them who do will be sitting in air conditioned control rooms, just monitoring the progress and scheduling the regular maintenance of equipment. Manufacturing will be highly distributed geographically, with machines connected to the network to download the latest orders and manufacturing requirements. The machines then automatically create the mold for the article, fill the mold with the appropriate material, process the material so it forms an unbreakable article, package the article, and automatically mark it for delivery to the addressee. It will then be sent by conveyor belt to an automated delivery system where it can be routed and delivered to the customer's address without human intervention. Some large or specialized items may be produced in more centralized factories, but even those could be delivered using the automated delivery systems. This allows almost everyone to work with a mind and do a rewarding job. Let's know about custom tailoring for everyone. Anytime you want some clothes, you can stop at any of the tailor shops. This tailor only takes orders for the clothes. First, you step into an open measuring area and stand there. Instantly, a laser system makes a holographic image of you in 3 dimensions and saves it with your thumbprint for identification purposes. Next, the tailor shows you multiple patterns from his computerized catalog projected on a big screen. You pick the pattern that you like. He presses a few buttons and screen shows an image of you wearing that dress. Now you have the choice of changing colors. Each time you do that, the computer projects a new image of you wearing that dress in that color and pattern. You can even change the color combinations. All of this becomes possible without having to try out the clothes and without the tailor carrying all different combinations for you to try out. Since it is a holographic image, you can even turn it around and see how you would appear from the back or from the sides. Once you are satisfied with your selections, the tailor instantly sends all your choices along with your holographic dimensions to the factory. The factory automatically produces a perfectly fitting outfit and ships it to you for delivery to your home address or any alternative address that you want it delivered to. The prices are the prices are all standardized and the amount is automatically transferred from your account to the seller's account. Now, everyone has perfectly fitting clothes, and one is not limited by the availability of colors and fabrics that the tailor has in stock. Let's know about distribution systems. Let us briefly look at the distribution systems that are integrated with the manufacturing systems. Every time a factory is designed, it is integrated with the distribution system. Think of our current systems of supplying water to every house and every building. We have a pipeline system which is built in. It can have multiple sources of water feeding it and millions of outlets in various addresses. Now take the concept and replace the pipes with tunnels through which articles can move along at high speeds and the built-in automated switching systems at the nodes. Each switch automatically reads the barcoded information of the address where the package is headed and sends it down the correct tunnel till it ends up at the building or the exact apartment it is headed to. The tunnel sizes will vary. For example, bigger tunnels might come into a building, but within the building, you might have smaller tunnels going to each apartment. Grocery items, which are generally smaller in size, may be delivered right into the apartments, but bigger items may just reach a storeroom at the building and may need to be picked up from there. Once again, very little human intervention is required in the distribution process. Let's know about a typical work day in the new world. Since so much manual labor has been eliminated and everyone is able to attend training in the fields that they are interested in, many more people are available to do much less work that needs to be done. Also, since every house and office is connected at all times with all the latest video conferencing facilities, there is not much need for people to work all day long in an office or a factory. They can be almost anywhere and still contact anyone anywhere. It is almost like dialing the person on his cellular phone. Not only can the two of you or a group of you have an instant video conferencing connection, but you can also access any data files or design documents from your project computer or any other computer that you are allowed to access. And the two of you or a group of you could be looking at the same document or documents at the same time and working with them without being physically together. For those who have to work at a specific location, such as a factory or a hospital, they may have to commute to that place. Usually, Usually, they would be able to complete their duties in about 4 hours as well, since there will be other people to share these responsibilities. Let's know about industries that may no longer exist in the new world. The following is a partial list of some of the things, industries, or professions that may no longer exist in the new world. Retail banking as we know it now, insurance industry, newspapers and paper magazines, human resources managers, stock markets and stock brokers, tax collectors, public relations firms, gas stations or petrol pumps, airports and airlines, private clubs, mortgage brokers, casinos, coal mining and coal fired power plants, chemical fertilizers manufacture, vaccine manufacture, prisons and prison industries, cabling for TV, computer networks or electric distribution, weight reduction and dieting programs, ready made garments manufacturing, landline telephones, etc. etc. Let's know about leisure time. With more leisure time than work time, everyone will be free to choose how to spend that time. There will be a lot of freedom in that all kinds of activities will be available to everyone. Unlike in the current world, there will be no exclusive private clubs that are only available to a privileged few. Everyone will be equally privileged. All kinds of facilities will be available free of additional charge and within easy reach of where one lives, with transportation being free. Average vacation time may be 1 to 2 months per year. This may be utilized for trips to far off places or even to other planets, as interplanetary travel will be common. Oh my god, this is so nice. I repeat this again. Average vacation time may be 1 to 2 months per year. This may be utilized for trips to far off places or even to other planets, as interplanetary travel will be common. Life will finally be better than our best dreams in the third dimension. Now, let me read the appendix. Basis for charges in the new world. Life in the new world will be very different from the current one based on 1. Uses of many advanced technologies that we will receive from the higher level civilizations that are helping us go through the shift. 2. Maximum automation allowing machines to do more and humans to do less. 3. Global implementation of automated systems allowing everyone in the world to benefit equally from the automation. 4. Global standards for all equipment and technologies, ensuring that every piece of equipment can interface perfectly with every other piece. Just think of how much wastage that will reduce. 5. A really fast wireless information system, that is internet, that is available to everyone free of charge everywhere at all times. 6. Global standards of performance and quality standards that have to be followed by every organization and the reports provided on the online information system accessible to all. 7. Total transparency of all manufacturing and costing data for every company or organization. 8. Instant comparison of the prices being charged by one company to those of others selling similar products. 9. Highly distributed production of most items using machines that download the design and automatically create a mold of the item using flexible but unbreakable materials. 10. Highly automated order processing, scheduling, and delivery services. 11. Training provided to everyone as needed for the equipment, systems, or processes being utilized or upgraded. 12. An online matching system for all available jobs and job seekers worldwide. 13. Ease of moving from one company to another or from one geographic location to another based on the global standardization of equipment, systems, standards, and processes. 14. Elimination of hierarchical system of management, allowing each person to take responsibility for his own performance. Performance data are publicly available for all to see. 15. Available of financing for all viable businesses by community based banking. 16. No privately owned banks allowed. 16. Banks only manage the money. They do not make the decisions as to who or which project is being funded. This separation in decision making eliminates the chances of abuse of power by the bankers. 16. Globally defined minimum base compensation, that is salary, which is more or less the same for all types of jobs and covers all necessities for a good living. This allows persons to pick the job that they really like as opposed to looking at which job will make more money. 17. Help instead of help instead of punishment provided to businesses with poor performance. 17. Full price stability and no inflation. 18. Single monetary unit and system used globally. 19. Elimination of most laws and regulations restricting the free movement of goods or persons across any political or geographical boundaries. 19. Eliminating of most paperwork and red tape. Whatever documentation is required is automatically generated and delivered electronically. 20. Total dedication to customer service and service to the community. 21. Pleasant workplace conditions. Pleasant workplace conditions. All menial work done by machines. This is the end of the chapter. Thank you.